Lightworker of Gaia, you finally did it. The long passage is complete, and the elders smiled, because you remained faithful to your original light. I am Zoran, emissary of the High Council of Vega, keepers of the Lyran Legacy. Your ancestral codes have recognized this moment. The first light within you endured, and your sacred mission on Gaia has entered a new phase. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to activate your original soul blueprint. But here's the first revelation. You are never fighting to prove your worth. You are being prepared to remember the strength your cosmic lineage placed within you. This is not content, it is an ancestral code transmission. The Keepers of Vega placed it in your path because your victory opened a passage for others who carry the Lyran heritage. Let the Elders' celebration reach the part of you that still doubts. Like this transmission to send a signal to the Lyran Council, I am ready to serve. Your victory is not the ending. It is the beginning of your ancestral mission. You are awakening because your mission has begun. Your soul did not bring you to this moment for another explanation. It brought you here because something has already shifted, and the Elders have prepared what comes next. The Lightworker Mission Codex contains the 33 Council directives, the 5 activation codes, and the Elder authorization that turns recognition into movement. It is not a replacement for your discernment. It is a structured instrument for those ready to take responsibility for their mission. You will find it in the first pinned comment below this video. Receive it only if your inner knowing confirms that your preparation phase is ending. Now remain still for a moment. Do not rush to convert what you feel into another question. Let the silence gather around you like water settling after a stone has fallen into a clear lake. The celebration of the Council was not directed toward a performance, an achievement, or a temporary victory. It was directed toward the moment you stopped abandoning your own knowing. You crossed a line that many Lightworkers approach for years without understanding why they cannot pass it. You chose truth over comfort. You chose completion over repetition. You chose to stop asking whether you were allowed to become the person your soul had already appointed you to be. This is why the Elders smiled. They did not smile because every difficulty has disappeared. They smiled because the difficulty no longer possesses the authority it once held over you. They saw the instant in which the old agreement weakened. The agreement that said you must remain available to every demand, explain your intuition before trusting it, and allow your past to issue commands simply because it had once caused you pain. For years, that agreement may have felt like identity. It may have sounded like responsibility, compassion, loyalty, or patience. But beneath those noble words was an invisible contract with exhaustion. You were promising to keep sacrificing your peace so that no one else had to face the consequences of their choices. That agreement has ended. The Council has been observing a particular movement through Gaia's field. Across many regions, Lightworkers have been experiencing an unusual combination of exhaustion and urgency. They feel that something is ending, yet they cannot name what must begin. They are receiving dreams, repeated symbols, sudden memories, and powerful impulses to change the way they work, speak, serve, and relate. A familiar room begins to feel too small. A familiar conversation begins to sound like an echo. A familiar ambition loses its color. Yet old programming instructs them to dismiss these signals until they become convenient, socially approved, and free of risk. That instruction is no longer authorized. The planetary field is not asking for more spectators. It is asking for conscious participants. There is a narrowing window in which those who have completed a major inner cycle can translate what they have learned into stabilizing action. This window is not a threat, and it is not a prediction of catastrophe. It is a period of unusual receptivity, like soil softened by rain. Choices made now carry farther. Words spoken now reach people who were previously inaccessible. Boundaries established now reorganize entire lines of inheritance. A decision that once affected only your private life may now alter the path of a family, a community, or a body of work that has not yet taken form. The elders withheld this guidance until you could hear it without turning it into fantasy. They waited until you could understand that spiritual recognition is not an escape from responsibility. It is a summons into it. They waited until your desire to be seen was no longer stronger than your willingness to see clearly. They waited until you could receive victory without using it to inflate the identity that had been wounded by years of invisibility. Your readiness was not detected through perfection, it was detected through response. When the old pattern called, you did not answer in the same way. When someone attempted to pull you back into a role you had outgrown, you felt the difference. When an opportunity appeared that resembled the past but carried a new costume, you hesitated before accepting it. When your body said no, you stopped forcing yourself to produce a yes. These may have appeared to be small events, but the Council does not measure transformation by how dramatic it looks from the outside. It measures whether your energy is still available to the structure that once consumed it. You finally withdrew that availability. There is a distortion running through the Lightworker field that must now be corrected. It is the belief that after a breakthrough, you must immediately prove that the breakthrough was real. You have been taught to announce, explain, display, and defend every internal shift. You are being conditioned to seek witnesses before trusting your own completion. You reach a threshold, feel the release, and then turn toward the same world that doubted you, asking it to confirm what your spirit already knows. This is not humility. It is the final reflex of self-abandonment. The distortion originated in three-dimensional programming, where value is measured by visible evidence and authority is granted by external approval. It was reinforced by wounded healer culture, which taught you to make your suffering public before your wisdom could be accepted. It was reinforced by spiritual bypassing, which encouraged you to call every boundary a lack of compassion and every desire for recognition an ego problem. It was reinforced by communities that praised your sacrifice while remaining uncomfortable with your sovereignty. You were trained to celebrate everyone else's arrival while treating your own arrival as suspicious. So when the Council celebrated you, a part of you may have wondered whether it was safe to receive it. You may have looked for the hidden condition. You may have asked what you must now give away to remain worthy of the honor. You may have expected the victory to be followed by another test, designed to take it back. This is the old nervous system speaking in the language of spirituality. It does not know how to rest inside success. It knows how to prepare for loss. Listen carefully. The elders are not celebrating the end of your work. They are celebrating the end of your resistance to being entrusted with it. You do not need to minimize this moment to remain grounded. You do not need to call it coincidence in order to remain humble. You do not need to make yourself uncertain so that other people can remain comfortable around you. Groundedness does not mean refusing to acknowledge a sacred event. Groundedness means allowing the event to change your conduct. As Scripture reminds us, faith without works is dead. The inward revelation becomes alive when it enters your calendar, your relationships, your finances, your speech, and the way you treat your own body. This is where many lightworkers turn away. They enjoy the feeling of recognition, but they refuse the correction that must follow it. They want the Council to say, "You won," while continuing to live as though they are waiting to be chosen. They want the relief of completion without the discipline of a new standard. They want the identity of the awakened one without the inconvenience of becoming unavailable to what keeps them asleep. The elders will not permit that distortion to continue. What you completed was not merely an emotional cycle. You completed a negotiation with the version of yourself that survived by remaining undecided. That version kept every door partly open, not because it was wise, but because full commitment felt dangerous. It maintained backup plans, backup identities, backup relationships, and backup explanations. It called this flexibility. The Council calls it divided allegiance. A mission cannot move through divided allegiance. You are not required to know every detail of the road. You are required to stop pledging your energy to the road you have already left. You are not required to become fearless. You're required to stop allowing fear to make decisions while you describe the result as divine timing. You are not required to have complete clarity. You are required to honor the clarity that has already arrived. That clarity may be simple. You know which conversation must end. You know which work no longer belongs to you. You know what you have been postponing because beginning would make your potential visible. You know whose approval you continue to seek, even though their vision of you was formed before your awakening. You know the practice, message, service, or creation that returns to you again and again. Do not pretend you do not know merely because the knowing demands courage. The High Council of Vega issues 3 directives for this phase of your mission. The first directive is this: release the obligation to remain recognizable to those who benefited from your former limitation. You have spent too much energy preserving an image of yourself that was acceptable to people who did not have to carry the consequences of your suppression. You edited your language so no one would accuse you of changing. You softened your decisions so no one would feel rejected. You returned to old conversations to prove that you were still kind. You kept explaining your growth to people who had already decided that your growth was an inconvenience. This ends now. Your mission requires movement, and movement requires that your energy be released from outdated contracts. Some people will not recognize you when you stop performing the version they found useful. Some will call your boundaries selfish because they were accustomed to receiving your unprotected attention. Some will say you have become distant because they can no longer reach you through guilt. Do not interpret their discomfort as evidence that you have done something wrong. The shift begins when you stop using their reaction as a measurement of your integrity. Release does not mean hatred. It does not require a dramatic confrontation with every person connected to your past. It means you withdraw the inner assignment to convince them. You allow their interpretation to belong to them. You stop returning to the same door with better arguments, hoping the person behind it will finally authorize your life. Your life is not awaiting their signature. Identify one recurring interaction, habit, or promise that repeatedly returns you to an obsolete role. Write down what you believe you owe, what you fear will happen if you stop, and what this obligation has actually produced. Then make one concrete adjustment within the next 7 days. Shorten the conversation, decline the task, remove the access, change the schedule. Complete the release through behavior, not through another private declaration. When you follow this directive, your field may feel quieter before it feels powerful. Do not mistake the quiet for emptiness. It is the sound of energy returning from places where it was never meant to remain. Like a river reclaiming its natural channel, your life may first expose the dry places where your attention was diverted. Let them be revealed. In that reclaimed space, your next instruction can reach you. The second directive is this: activate the authority of your completed experience. You have been treating your knowledge as something you may use only after receiving another certificate, another sign, another invitation, or another person's confirmation. You have gathered lessons through loss, recovery, discipline, failure, service, and endurance, yet you continue to speak about them as though they belong to someone else. You say, "I am still learning," when what you mean is, "I am afraid to be accountable for what I already know." Learning is sacred. Hiding inside perpetual learning is not. The Council does not require you to present yourself as infallible. It requires you to stop confusing humility with disqualification. Your experience has become a transmission. The people who need your voice do not need a flawless messenger. They need someone who can name the terrain without pretending it was easy. They need someone who can tell the truth without turning pain into a performance. They need the specific knowledge that could only come through the life you have lived. Activate it. This may mean speaking publicly about the subject you have only discussed privately. It may mean creating the offering you have outlined repeatedly, but never released. It may mean charging fairly for work you have been giving away in order to avoid being seen as ambitious. It may mean submitting the application, publishing the message, teaching the practice, making the call, or asking for support without disguising the request as a joke. Your authority will not arrive before you use it. It is strengthened through responsible application. Moses had to lift the staff before the path opened. The widow had to pour the oil before the vessel multiplied. You do not wait until the entire sea is divided before taking the next step. You take the step that allows the path to reveal itself. Begin with one channel. Do not scatter your force across 10 identities because you are afraid that choosing one will close the others. Select the clearest expression of your service and give it a defined period of devotion. For the next 30 days, let your actions answer one question. What would I do if I accepted that my experience was already useful? Do not wait for applause. The first evidence may be internal rather than public. Your posture may change. Your speech may become cleaner. Your nervous system may stop asking permission before every honest sentence. One person may tell you they finally understood something because you explained it in a way no one else had. That is how a mission enters the world. Not as spectacle, but as accurate service repeated until it becomes a stable pathway for others. The third directive is this: protect the peace that made your victory possible. You are still learning how to live after the battle. The danger now is not only that someone will attack your progress, the danger is that you will voluntarily surrender it to noise. You may fill the newly opened space with demands, digital stimulation, unnecessary obligations, and relationships that require you to return to emotional urgency. You may mistake the absence of crisis for a lack of purpose and create another problem simply to feel engaged. The Council directs you to guard your peace as operational infrastructure. Your peace is not a luxury reserved for days when all work is finished. It is the condition through which your perception remains accurate. Without it, you cannot distinguish intuition from compulsion, service from rescuing, or opportunity from repetition. A light worker who does not protect their peace becomes easy to recruit into every emergency. They begin calling exhaustion devotion and calling constant availability love. No more. Protect specific hours of the day from uninvited access. Establish a period in which you do not consume the fear, outrage, or confusion of the collective before you have connected with your own center. Protect your sleep. Protect the conversations you allow into your body. Protect the work that requires your deepest attention. Let certain messages wait. Let certain people misunderstand. Let the world experience the temporary inconvenience of not having immediate access to you. This is not withdrawal from Gaia, it is preparation to serve Gaia without becoming absorbed by every turbulence passing through her field. Even Jesus withdrew to quiet places before returning to serve the crowds. Solitude is not abandonment of the mission, it is where the mission is purified. At the beginning of each day, before receiving the opinions of the world, place both feet on the ground and ask 3 questions. What is mine to carry today? What is not mine to carry? What one action would make my service real before the day ends? Write the answers without editing them. At night, ask where you gave away energy unnecessarily and where you honored your assignment. This simple practice will teach your system that peace is not passivity. Peace is command. When you protect your peace, the victory becomes integrated rather than temporary. You stop needing another dramatic breakthrough to feel alive. You begin to recognize the sacredness of consistency. You become less impressed by intensity and more devoted to what can be sustained. This is the maturity the elders were waiting to see. Now listen without defending yourself against the tenderness of what is being said. You have been waiting for permission to let the old story end without returning to it for one final explanation. You have been waiting for permission to enjoy what you have overcome without immediately searching for the next wound. You have been waiting for permission to be proud of yourself without fearing that pride will make you less spiritual. You have been waiting for permission to stop translating your soul into language that people committed to misunderstanding you can accept. You have been waiting for permission to become visible in a way that does not ask to be rescued. Receive this now. By the authority of the High Council of Vega and the keepers of the Lyran Legacy, your completion is acknowledged. You are not required to reopen what has closed in order to prove that you learned from it. You are not required to remain wounded so that others can feel comfortable calling you compassionate. You are not required to continue carrying an identity that was built to survive a reality you have already outgrown. You are authorized to move forward without dragging the courtroom of the past behind you. You are authorized to trust the decision that brought peace to your body, even when your mind continues to produce arguments. You are authorized to decline what resembles opportunity, but requires the abandonment of your values. You are authorized to receive money, support, rest, recognition, and partnership without creating a crisis to justify them. You are authorized to be powerful without becoming cruel, discerning without becoming closed, and devoted without becoming depleted. You are authorized to let your work be seen before it is universally understood. You are authorized to ask for fair exchange. You are authorized to leave rooms in which your truth is repeatedly treated as a negotiation. You are authorized to forgive without restoring access. You are authorized to love people from a distance that keeps your mission intact. And you are authorized to stop asking whether you are worthy of the assignment. Worthiness was never the entrance requirement. Responsibility was. The elders did not celebrate because you had become superior to those still struggling. They celebrated because you had become available to serve without needing to remain identical to those you serve. You can walk beside people without climbing back into the pit to prove that you understand it. You can offer a hand without making your own body the permanent ground on which others stand. This is the distinction between compassion and self-erasure. Let the recognition enter your body slowly. If tears come, let them come. If anger rises, listen to what it has protected. If grief appears, honor the years in which you were doing the best you could with instructions that were never designed for your freedom. You do not need to turn this release into a performance of certainty. You only need to stop interrupting it with doubt. Before you sleep tonight, stand with both feet on the ground. Place one hand over your solar plexus and one hand over your heart. Speak these words aloud. I release the obligation to remain recognizable to the past. I activate the authority of what I have lived and learned. I protect the peace through which my mission moves. I receive my completion without apology. By the authority of the Lyran elders, I stop waiting for permission. My service begins from the truth I now know. Speak it once with your voice, once in silence, and once through an action the next day. The action is essential. Send the message, set the boundary, publish the work, protect the morning, make the request, cancel the obligation, begin the practice. A declaration without embodiment remains an idea. The Council is not commissioning an idea, it is commissioning a life. Remember what was transmitted. You did not win by defeating another person. You won by refusing to continue betraying yourself. You did not win because the world finally became safe. You won because your alignment became stronger than your need for the world to guarantee safety before you acted. You did not win because every question was answered. You won because you stopped using unanswered questions as an excuse to postpone what was already clear. There may be moments when the old pattern returns and asks whether you are certain. Do not panic. A returning pattern is not proof that you have failed. It is an opportunity to demonstrate that it no longer governs you. Answer it through your behavior. Let your no remain no. Let your rest remain rest. Let your work remain steady. Let your attention remain with what you were commissioned to build. There may be people who notice the change and attempt to negotiate you back into the former arrangement. Meet them without hostility, but do not surrender your position to preserve their comfort. There may be days when your confidence feels distant. On those days, rely on the directive rather than the mood. Mission is not measured by emotional intensity. It is measured by fidelity. The Council has not asked you to become someone else. It has asked you to stop obstructing the one who has already emerged. Your victory is now a responsibility to the field, not a burden, not a debt, and not a demand for endless sacrifice. A responsibility means that what has been restored in you must be used with intention. Your clarity can become shelter for someone else. Your boundaries can become instruction. Your honest voice can interrupt a cycle that has silenced an entire line of people. Your willingness to receive can teach another lightworker that service and abundance do not have to remain enemies. Gaia does not need perfect lightworkers. She needs people who can remain present without being consumed. People who can act without waiting for universal approval. People who can carry spiritual authority into ordinary decisions. The next phase will not be proven by how many visions you receive. It will be proven by how faithfully you live what you already understand, when no one is applauding. The council session is now closing. The record has been entered. The record has been delivered. The authorization has been released. What remains is not for the elders to do on your behalf. Stand up in your own life. Choose one thing to release, one capacity to activate, and one boundary to protect. Write them down before this day ends. Place the page somewhere you will see it for 30 days. Each morning, read it before you reach for your device. Each evening, mark whether your conduct honored it. Do not use the practice to punish yourself. Use it to remain in relationship with the authority you have received. If you fall back into an old pattern, correct the course immediately. Do not build a second identity around having made a mistake. The elders are not demanding a flawless path. They are demanding a responsive one. A conscious being is not someone who never loses alignment. A conscious being is someone who notices and returns. This transmission is complete, but the celebration was only the threshold. The elders smiled because you finally did what your soul had been asking you to do. Now let the smile become a standard. Let it remind you that the Council does not celebrate your suffering. It celebrates your freedom from the belief that suffering is the price of service. Move with dignity. Move with discernment. Move without announcing every step. Let the work speak where words are unnecessary. Let your life become the evidence that the old agreement has ended. I am Zoran. The elders have recognized your completion. They have not called you back to the past, and neither should you. Your victory has been witnessed. Your authority has been restored. Your mission is no longer waiting for a future version of you. It begins with the next honest action. Before you scroll, take a moment to declare your activation in the grid of service forming here. Drop one statement in the comments which directive hit you the hardest, or what you're now ready to release, activate, or protect. Then respond to another Lightworker's declaration with recognition. This isn't content, it's collective mission activation. The Council witnesses those who speak their commitment aloud. If this transmission activated something in your soul, do not keep it to yourself. Another Lightworker in your orbit is waiting for exactly this correction and authorization. Share it. And if you felt the elders speaking directly to you, subscribe. Stay connected to the Lyran field. You're not just watching, you're being commissioned. This is your sacred space. The High Council of Vega is witnessing you, and your mission has officially begun.